In the heart of New York City, where ambition collides with shadows, where the American dream rises beside the American underworld, lies the story of a crime family both feared and misunderstood. A family that quietly dominated the Mafia for nearly a century. A family responsible for some of the most calculated, profitable, and shocking criminal operations in U.S. history. This is the rise and evolution of the Lucchese Crime Family. But before we begin, before we enter the world of mob bosses, secret alliances, betrayals, and bloodshed, if you enjoy deep documentaries about history, crime, and dark psychology, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring more powerful stories every single week. Now, let's begin. Our story starts in the early 1900s, New York City. A boiling pot of cultures, a battlefield of poverty and opportunity. Italian immigrants flood into neighborhoods like East Harlem, Little Italy, and Brooklyn. Jobs are scarce. The streets are dangerous. Survival requires more than luck, it requires protection. And in that environment, the American Mafia takes root. Among the early underworld pioneers is a sharp, strategic mind, Gaetano Tommy Reina. Reina is respected, quiet, stable. He builds a small, disciplined mafia group, handling ice distribution, extortion, gambling, protection rackets, and labor influence. His leadership style: low violence, high loyalty, minimal attention. But peace never lasts long in the underworld. By the late 1920s, New York's Mafia is divided into two powerful factions: Joe Masiria, representing the old-school Sicilian bosses, and Salvatore Maranzano, representing the rival faction from Castellamare del Golfo. The city becomes a battleground of assassinations, ambushes, and betrayals. This was the Castellamare's War. Tommy Reina wants no part of it, tries to stay neutral, a dangerous position. In February 1930, Reina is murdered. Many believe Masiria orchestrated the hit to seize power. Reina's carefully built empire falls into chaos. But a new figure rises from the wreckage: Gaetano Tommy Gagliano. He reorganizes the surviving members and quietly rebuilds the family. And when Lucky Luciano eliminates both Masiria and Maranzano, a new order is formed. The five families are born, and Gagliano becomes boss of what will eventually become the Lucchese Crime Family. Gagliano is unlike any other mafia boss of his era. He avoids the spotlight. He avoids chaos. He avoids unnecessary bloodshed. His empire grows silently through labor unions, trucking, garment industry control, loan sharking, and gambling. During Prohibition, he profits enormously. During the Great Depression, he expands operations. During World War II, he uses labor racketeering to gain influence in the docks and garment factories. Gagliano rules from the shadows for more than 20 years. And when he dies in the early 1950s, the family passes to the man whose name will define it forever: Tommy Lucchese. Tommy Lucchese is charismatic, intelligent, and well-connected. Unlike most mob bosses, he becomes close friends with politicians, judges, and business owners. He knows how New York works, and he knows how to control it. Lucchese's empire dominates the garment district, air cargo at JFK, construction, trucking, casinos, high-level extortion, and union manipulation. But his greatest weapon is influence. He builds strong relationships with New York senators, police commanders, city officials, wealthy businessmen, and other mafia leaders, including Carlo Gambino. By the 1960s, Lucchese family is considered the most stable and financially efficient family in New York. Lucchese transforms the underworld from street crime into an organized corporate machine. But behind all that success, a storm is coming. Under Lucchese's leadership, violence is rare. But when it happens, it is clean, silent, and absolute. One of the most infamous cases is the murder of rivals to labor figure Anthony "Tony Ducks" Corallo, including garment industry influentials who refuse to cooperate. Lucchese ensures his family holds unmatched power over the Teamsters, seamstress, unions, trucking routes, and warehouse labor. Every stitch of clothing transported through New York, every box shipped out of the garment district owes a silent tax to Lucchese's empire. By the mid-1960s, Tommy Lucchese's health declines. He dies in 1967. The throne passes to the man he trusted most, Carmine the Dr. Tramonti. Tramonti is old school, quiet, steady, But his array is marked by one of the largest narcotics investigations in American history: the French Connection. Massive heroin pipeline stretching from Turkey to France to Canada and into New York. The Lucchese family becomes heavily involved in managing distribution in the U.S., working with Corsican suppliers. Millions of dollars move through their networks. The FBI intensifies pressure. Undercover agents infiltrate operations. In 1973, Tramity is arrested and later convicted of heroin trafficking. While he is serving time, another powerful figure is preparing to rise. Anthony "Tony Ducks" Corallo is brilliant, strategic. He earns his nickname Tony Ducks because charges against him always disappeared. He modernizes the family for the late 20th century. Under Corallo, the family manipulates construction bids, controls Teamsters, union locals, takes over waste management routes, influences Manhattan trucking, expands gambling operations, and partners with top construction companies. Corallo is extremely close to Carlo Gambino and later Paul Castellano. Their alliance brings stability across multiple families. But the FBI is evolving too. Wiretaps, informants, surveillance, and RICO laws are about to change everything. Corallo believes he's being watched in social clubs and cars, so he holds meetings inside a strange location, the back of his driver's Jaguar sedan. He thinks it's safe. It isn't. The FBI plants microphones inside the car. For months, agents listen to Corallo discuss family structure, bribes, labor extortion, construction rackets, high-level corruption, and mafia alliances. These tapes later become devastating evidence. In 1986, during the historic Commission trial, Corallo is sentenced to 100 years. The Lucchese family loses one of its most brilliant leaders. When Corallo is removed, two men rise: Victor Amuso as boss and Anthony Casso as underboss. Casso is one of the most violent mafia figures in modern history. He orders assassinations with ruthless efficiency. He collaborates with corrupt NYPD detectives, the Mafia cops. He kidnaps, tortures, and kills suspected informants. Under Casso and Amuso, the Lucchese family becomes feared even by other mafia families, but their brutality draws enormous attention. By the early 1990s, Amuso is arrested and Casso becomes a fugitive. Members begin cooperating with authorities. Internal wars break out. In 1994, Gaspipe Casso is captured. He later becomes an informant, one of the highest-ranking snitches in mafia history. His testimony exposes decades of corruption and violence. With Amuso in prison for life and Casso exposed as a government witness, the Lucchese family fractures. Different factions attempt to run operations. Soldiers distrust one another. Informants destabilize the hierarchy. The FBI dismantles construction rackets, unions, gambling centers, heroin pipelines, and extortion rings. For the first time in decades, the Lucchese family appears broken, but the mafia never truly disappears. In the 2000s, the Lucchese family changes strategy. No more high-profile bosses, no more flashy power grabs, no more media attention. They return to the old rules of low violence, soft intimidation, financial crimes, cyber fraud, gambling, contractor bribery, and white-collar operations. Recent indictments show involvement in credit card fraud, sports betting, healthcare scams, racketeering, identity theft, construction bribery, and restaurant extortion. Today, the Lucchese crime family is smaller, less violent, but still active. They become what they once were under Gagliano: silent, strategic, and profitable. The Lucchese family story is one of transformation. From Tommy Reina's early roots to Gagliano's invisible empire, to Lucchese's political influence, to Corallo's labor domination, to Casso's terrifying reign, and to the modern, quiet revival. The family shaped New York's underworld for nearly a century. They controlled unions, they controlled trucking, they controlled construction, they influenced politicians, they manipulated billion-dollar industries. Their history is not just crime, it is a mirror of America's hidden economy. If you enjoyed this deep dive documentary, you want more long-form stories about mafia history, dark psychology, true crime, and hidden secrets, make sure to subscribe. Your support helps us create more powerful documentaries every single week. Thank you for watching. And remember, in the world of organized crime, power is never permanent, loyalty is never guaranteed, and silence is everything.